Hello Libra, and welcome to your 2025 sneak peek. In this video today, we're going to be taking a look into 2025. We're going to be looking at the major themes that you will be experiencing and working through this year, as well as what blessings are coming in for you and what it is that you don't see coming. To get this video started, I actually channeled a few words for you. And so these are the words that came through. We had play, magic, create, dragon, guardian, temple, solstice, and then we had light and camera, and it made me think of lights, camera, action, as well as gamble, prepare, home, heart, crystalline, and activate or activation. And I'm also feeling throat, the energy of the throat coming through. And whenever I think of the throat, for some reason, at least right now, I'm seeing the sword and I'm thinking of Archangel Michael as well. So I feel like you're going to have a lot of really beautiful divine protection surrounding you this year. That dragon energy is really beautiful. You may be connecting more with dragons or with your own personal dragon. Your dragon may be another one of your guardians that's moving you through this energy, because it feels like there's a lot that you're creating. There's a lot that you're beginning, and that beautiful reconnection with the heart. And I love that the word gamble came through, because that was something that came through. It was in the Black Moon reading, I think, which happened in the sign of Capricorn. It actually hasn't happened yet when I'm recording this video. So when this video comes out, it'll still be before the Black Moon. So you might want to watch that video. And if you haven't, by the time you see this video, because we talked about that energy of taking a risk, taking a gamble on ourselves. Now in 2025, there's not going to be a ton of really like profound, any of the big astrology action that we're having isn't necessarily going to take place in your sign, but there is a lot of action happening in your opposing sign of Aries. And that is a sign, because it is opposite to you, that is essentially like the other half of your being. I look at opposing signs as being two sides of the same coin. So anything that happens within Aries is going to be impacting Libra very intensely in that oppositional energy. So even though we're not going to have as many big events happening within your specific sign, all of those Neptune entering Aries, Saturn entering Aries, you're going to be feeling the effects of that almost as acutely as Aries itself will, because perhaps even a little bit more intensely, because you're in that oppositional energy to the Aries energy. So a big year for you in terms of that as well. So let's get right into the cards. And we're going to look first at the primary energies that you're going to be working with, the themes and energies in 2025. What does Spirit want my Libras to know? All right, so we have the Emperor coming up, divine masculine, and that all that Aries energy that I was just talking about with Neptune entering Aries, with Saturn entering Aries, that is the energy of the Emperor and the divine masculine. And we also have Mars, who is in retrograde right now, who is the ruler of Aries, and is going to be in retrograde until February of 2025 and in shadow until May 1st. So there is some energy there as well, even though Mars isn't in the sign of Aries during that particular retrograde. He's in Leo and then into Cancer. This energy of the divine masculine, this is something that we're all working through. This is an energy that is rearranging within all of us. So I see a really powerful breakthrough coming through for you surrounding your divine masculine energy, the way that you utilize and work with that energy. We have the Page of Pentacles here, laying a foundation. And we also have the Three of Swords and Strength. So I feel as you're moving through 2025, there's going to be a lot of this focus on like what it is that you want to achieve, what it is that you want to create, and laying the foundation, creating the building blocks for that energy. And that isn't always the most fun, right? It's not necessarily where we see the most action all the time, because in that process of creating that foundation, we're laying it brick by brick, right? Like when somebody drives by a house that's being built and the foundation's the only thing that's built, they don't stop and ooh and ah at that house. They're not like, ooh, that's where I want to live. Unless maybe they are a builder or a contractor and they can see some potential within that, right? But it is still absolutely essential for those things to happen in order for the rest of the house to stand. And so this feels really powerful. It's just Spirit wants you to remember that if 2025 is requiring a lot of strength, if it's requiring a lot of this foundational work that maybe isn't glitzy and glamorous and may sometimes feel a bit tedious, just know and understand that it's necessary to get you where you're going. With this strength card here as well, and the Three of Swords, I'm feeling as though some of my Libras, you may have been experiencing, and you may go through periods of this in 2025 as well, just depression, just that heaviness of energy. And you may be working with your mental health a lot this year, trying to figure out like, okay, so where are these cycles of depression coming from? Where is this energy? Like, what is contributing to this? Is it diet? Is it circumstantial? Is it something with my brain chemistry that needs to be looked at? Are there ways that I can work with this? Are there more healing techniques that I can apply? How can I work through this energy and come to a place where this isn't crippling me, essentially? And Spirit is saying that a lot of this has to do with belief in yourself, and it has to do with your own core beliefs. And as you're embarking upon this journey, some of those core beliefs are starting to shift. And as they shift, sometimes we feel this sense of disconnection. We feel this sense of aimlessness sometimes. It's kind of like we're traveling in and out of the void. And so a lot of times we give up on our manifestations. We give up on what it is that we're creating and that forward movement, because we start to get really discouraged. And Spirit's saying, don't get discouraged by this. Just know that if you are dealing with depression, it's simply giving you an opportunity to work through deeper layers. And any of the energy healing techniques, the different things that I do, can be really helpful with this. So if you want assistance, please reach out. And this doesn't mean just with me. Reach out and ask for what you need. This is a big year for my Libras, I feel like, when it comes to learning how to ask for what you need and learning how to get your needs met and learning how important it is and how deserving you are of having your needs met. I feel like for some people, this depression or this sadness might actually come from being in a connection where you feel like your needs aren't being met, where you feel like somebody's not on the same level as you, they're not seeing you, they're not hearing you. And so some of you may want to, if you're in a relationship, this might be a good time to go into couples counseling or couples therapy. It might be a time to just explore different aspects of that and also explore different aspects of yourself. Are you able to really voice what you're really feeling, thinking, and needing? Or are you simply expecting that the other person should know, or expecting that they do know, and just kind of like waiting for them to figure it out, right? Because this is one of the biggest mistakes we can make, is assuming that other people know how we feel and know what we need and what we want. Or this desire, and I've definitely gone through this, I still go through this sometimes, where you're like, shouldn't the right person just know what I need? And it's, unfortunately, that's just not really the way the world works. And I hate to generalize here, but I want to say, I'm feeling called to say this for somebody specifically who is a divine feminine or resonates and identifies with the feminine energy more. Particularly when it comes to with masculines a lot of the time. Like I learned early in life, like you got to be really upfront. You got to really state what you're thinking and how you're feeling, because they do not know. They cannot read your mind. And a lot of times, like they may be completely oblivious to what's going on with you. So especially in that situation, we got the King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Like you really want to make sure that you are sharing what is within your heart, what is within your mind, instead of just expecting other people to get it. And some people may be feeling really disconnected and misunderstood because maybe you are going through a period of depression and it just feels like your partner or your friends or other people in your world just don't understand what you're going through. It's like they might try to, but they haven't experienced it, so they don't really get it. And so it's like, reach out to the people who do get it. I'm also feeling with this is Saturn and Libra, this Three of Swords card. I'm feeling this energy of burdens too. Some of it is like you're feeling burdened. You're feeling like it's all just too much. And so this is where you really want to reach out and ask for help. Libra energy, one of the things that you come here to do is to find balance, to find harmony. You also come here to learn about yourself through the other, through relationships. And so this is a real teaching point in that journey for you of being able to identify your needs and ask for what it is that you need. And like I said, know that you deserve to have your needs met. Anything else for these major energies here coming through? This is really about you stepping into your power, though. Like, I feel this depression energy for those who are going to be experiencing that. I feel you finally coming up with some ways to work with this, because I don't feel like this is new for the people that I'm channeling that particular aspect of this message for. I feel like you've dealt with this periodically throughout your life, if not for some of you, like more consistently, and you're finally getting a breakthrough in like how to work with that energy. And I am somebody who's dealt with depression and these depressive type energies and cycles my entire life, so I get it. I've gone through many different phases of how I've worked with that energy. When I decided to come off antidepressants, and I'm not a doctor, so I'm not making any recommendations about anything, I'm simply sharing my experience. When I decided to do that for the final time, I use EFT, emotional freedom technique. It's a tapping technique where you tap on certain pressure points and you say specific things, and it helps to release energy. That was one of the first things I tried. Then I got into energy healing, Reiki, a bunch of different modalities that help to loosen up and shift this energy as well. And I've worked with affirmations. You know, I work with getting my body moving. There's lots of different ways that you can begin to work with this energy and begin to find different ways of coping, different coping mechanisms. I feel like for some of my Libras, you're letting go of negative coping mechanisms, and now it's almost like that depression intensifies for a little while because you're not masking it anymore, but it's an opportunity to go deeper and really begin to heal it. For some of you too, I feel like you're healing from a deep emotional betrayal this year. Anything else about that, actually? Do we want to, some of you, if there may be some loss coming. I hate to give messages that are, you know, a little less fun and enjoyable, but some of you might have a loss. You might already be knowing that this is coming, perhaps a family member who's getting ready to transition or something like that. Or this could, for some of you too, I'm feeling like this is the healing journey that you undergo as a result of some type of loss. And remember, we never truly lose anyone, right? They simply shift into another dimension, right? They transition to another type of incarnation. So we have the Two of Wands here. So this is about this is about redefining your purpose, redefining your goals. This is about making adjustments where those adjustments are necessary. And this is another Mars in Aries card here. So we have two Mars in Aries cards. Some of you may have strong placements within the sign of Aries as well, or a really strong Mars in your chart. Or I'm feeling you're just really being called to work with that Mars energy, to work with that masculine energy this year again, to really get clear upon what it is that you want. Because like I said, you're having that opportunity to really create and build a foundation this year. But you got to realize, at least have some idea of what you're building toward. All right, so we have the Page of Swords here. So for some of you, I'm feeling like there's somebody in your space, in your sphere, who perhaps is really cynical. We have the King of Pentacles inverted still on the bottom of the deck here. So somebody could be an earth sign, right? Or an air sign, because, like you, because we have that Page of Swords here. But somebody who doesn't necessarily believe in you, or somebody who just kind of isn't, I just getting that energy of like not being supportive, not feeling supported by this person. And so I'm feeling this real need for you to remove these people from your life where you can, or at least like, it's like, don't talk to the people that are just generally not supportive of you. And I'm feeling like for this person, it's more just because they have a scarcity complex. They have a very cynical way of viewing the world. And it's almost like, I feel like they almost feel like they're protecting you or helping you by shooting down your ideas and being like, that's not realistic. That's not going to work. You know, you can't really do that. That's not how the world works. I honestly feel like that's something that they say to you sometimes. That's not how the world works, right? Or like you're not living in reality. That's not real life. And so like you just want to, you may not, because I feel like for most of you, this isn't necessarily somebody who's bad for you. For some of you, it might be. In that case, just cut them out. For others, it's like, it's just, this isn't the person to bounce your ideas off of. This isn't the person to boost you up and help you feel confident. And there's kind of a reason for this. Honestly, this person is serving a purpose in your life because they're showing you that you can't rely on other people to find that sense of confidence. You have to find it within yourself. So this is a big year for finding that confidence. This is once again masculine energy. Finding that confidence within yourself, believing in yourself, even if other people don't, even if nobody else does. I don't feel like you're going to have nobody who believes in you. For some of you, you might, but I'm feeling like a lot of the most important people in your life maybe just aren't seeing where you're going, because remember, 2024 was a year of quantum leaping through timelines, through realities. So you may be viewing things from a higher timeline where there are more possibilities, right? And this person's still viewing things from a lower timeline, from a more 3D timeline, for lack of a better way to describe this. So just know and understand that, and just understand what it is that they're helpful with, where it is and when it is that you can come to them for support, and when it is that you need to seek that elsewhere, or simply really learn how to seek that within yourself. And building up your spiritual connection is really going to help with that clear as well. Anything else we need to know here? Yeah, and you may just be dealing also, some of you, with some people who are really entrenched in that 3D energy. If you have people around you who are gossiping, people around you who are sort of like greedy or just sort of takers, those are the kind of people that you want to start pruning from your reality wherever possible. And if you can't remove them from your reality, say like they're connected to your children or something like that. For somebody, it might be like an ex-husband. Just know that, like, reduce your dependence on them and reduce the importance of their judgments and their words. And this is something that I had to, because I feel like there might be some people gossiping about you this year, Libra, especially if you're making moves and you're creating this foundation and you have this vision that other people just can't connect with and they can't see. There might be a lot of people, but at the end of the day, what it really amounts to is jealousy, because they wish that they had the courage to go after a dream the way that you're feeling called to go after a dream this year. All right, but they don't. And so there may be people gossiping about you. There may be people just talking behind your back. And I dealt with that energy my entire early life, my entire childhood into my teenage years. This was a really prevalent energy, but it really toughened me up in a sense, because I had to really learn not to allow other people's opinions of me to dictate my opinion or my view of myself. I really had to get clear in who I was, really anchored in that, so that that energy didn't hurt me, because otherwise I would have just been having a breakdown every single day, right? So, and it's because even at that point, like where I was energetically and where my soul was going was so different from where they were, right? So people just didn't understand, and there was just that, there was a weird reflective energy. There was a lot of different dynamics going on. I've also learned more about my human design, that there tends to be an energy where people project their insecurities onto me. So looking into your human design or your astrology might be helpful as well. And I'm just getting ready to delve into human design. I might start exploring that this year. I'm not super versed in that right now, but if you want to learn more about your astrology, I'm your girl for that. So let me know. But yeah, it's about learning how to filter that energy out, how to not let that drag you down, not affect you. And I know it's much easier said than done. So we have the Seven of Pentacles here. Good things take time, long-term views, perseverance. Yeah, so you're really being asked to put on your forward-thinking lens. This is another Saturn card here. You have 2 Mars cards and 2 Saturn cards here. So there's definitely a lot of this energy of like, this is going to be a year where you really have to see the big picture. You have to focus on the big picture and not get hemmed down in the self-doubt, the self-criticism, or allow other people to drag you down. This feels like a real initiation here, especially with the High Priestess and Judgment coming out here. Let me feel into this for a minute. Yeah, this is where you're really delving deep into those belief systems once again. You're really noticing where it is that you're taking on that negativity from others and that negative self-talk. And what Spirit wants you to do too, Libra, is Spirit wants you to look into, like, when you have that negative self-talk, whose voice is it in? Is it in the voice of a parent, a step-parent? Is it in your own voice? Is it in the voice of a sibling, an ex? Like, a lot of times our inner critic has a voice of somebody who really helped to instill that doubt in us that we then took on. And so our karma around that is that we are still holding on to that, and we're still allowing that to dictate our reality. So this is your chance to break free from that. And you're really going to get a deeper understanding of where it is that that energy exists in you, and where it is that you can finally, like, kick that energy to the curb. So a real tour through the subconscious in a lot of ways here. Yeah, and then we have the Queen of Swords, mentally strong, on the bottom of the deck. And then the illuminated subconscious with the full moon, all right? So there's a lot of this energy here of you finding your inner strength, right? And there's probably going to be a lot of, I hate to say this, you know what I mean? But there's probably going to be a lot of setbacks and a lot of obstacles that you're going to need to overcome. But this year is about you learning how to do that and realizing that you have everything within you that you need to do that. And realizing that the only true obstacle is right here. All right, the full moons, I feel like, could be big times for you as well. Big shifts and changes. So really play with those, work with those moon cycles, be aware of course, we talk about every full and new moon on this channel, so you can get a preview of the energy and how to work with that energy. I actually want to look up for you too, if we do have any moons happening in your sign, or when we have moons happening in your sign. Let's see here. All right. So the full moon in Cancer on the 13th, which is another cardinal sign. So you're going to have some influence with that. That's going to influence you. Full moon in Libra is happening in April, so that could be a big one for you. April 12th, we have the full moon in Libra. Yep, we're going to have Mercury in Cancer in June, as well as Jupiter. So that's going to affect you being cardinal as well. That's going to be like a square to you, to your energy. So there's going to be pressure there. New moon in Cancer in June 25th. Yeah, so those are going to be some points, some moons here. And Venus is going to enter your sign in October. And you're going to have the new moon in Libra on October 21st. So those may be some points, particularly when we're talking about those moon cycles. But it feels like any and all of the moons. There's a moon in Aquarius coming up. I feel like that's going to be a big one for some of my Libras too. Could be because of other things you have in your chart. Just could be with the energy of that. So that's going to be on the 29th of January. That new moon in Aquarius. I feel like there's going to be some powerful revelations for you around that time. All right, clear. We're going to get into the blessings, because I think that after all of that intensity there, but we do have now, we have overcoming sorrow, the Three of Swords in reverse here, which is beautiful. So Spirit's saying there's going to be a break to this energy. It's not all going to be these intense initiations. Like, you're going to have some beautiful things happening as well. And that's what we're going to read into now. Let's see. I'm actually being drawn to the Divine Codes Oracle to look at some of your blessings here that you have coming this year of 2025, Libra. Clear. Let's get into Libra's I almost said blessings here. What is Libra going to be experiencing in 2025? And As we're going into blessings, I'm also like, if you have, like, make sure that you're staying on top of your health. Spirit wants to say your physical health as well, because there may be energies there as well. But I'm seeing any health issues that you are dealing with as a real opportunity for profound growth and a really profound shift and like a deepening of your faith as you move through that process for those who that's going to apply to. So blessings for Libra 2025. We have leap of faith, jump out of your comfort zone. So Spirit's saying your blessings are going to come through and be directly proportional to your ability and your willingness to step out of your comfort zone, to try something new. And then okay. So this is funny because I had seen this, the word love, when I was opening this box. It says you are love right here. And the word love really jumped out to me. And we have divine union here too. So some of you, there is love coming in. There are soulmates coming in. This doesn't just have to be like divine union with a counterpart, although for some of you it will be. And I feel like for those of you that will be, it's like, it's because you've learned these lessons around not allowing other people to put you down, around not settling for less than you deserve, learning how to, it's like that energy that we talked about learning how to speak about your needs, to ask for what you need, to know that you're worthy of having needs. When you work through that energy, that's going to open up the door and your vibration to attract this love in for you. So that's really beautiful. And this isn't just like I said, this is also other soulmates, other connections that are going to teach you more about healing, expansion, and love. So it's like you're going to have an interesting contrast, I feel, this year, where you're really, and I think part of it is going to be with these people coming into your reality who are truly supportive. Some of you are going to start recognizing the people that aren't. It's maybe like you didn't even notice it before because you were so used to people putting you down or not supporting you or questioning you that you forgot what it was like to have people who are truly supportive of you. And when you start meeting these people, it's going to provide the contrast necessary for you to recognize that. For others of you, it's like you're going to start weeding these people out of your reality, not giving them so much of your time, space, and energy. And it's going to create the room for these more supportive connections to come through. So that's really beautiful. And that's card number 32. Leap of faith is 1. So this energy coming up with the black moon and then the 1/1 portal on January 1st through January 11th. I think it's going to be really powerful. And that's on January 11th is when we have the South Node moving out of your sign and moving into the sign of Virgo. So I feel like that is going to, it's like those lessons around what it is you need to release around your own energy, right? Around the Libra energy. So for a lot of you, this is the people pleasing. This is being in the situations that aren't serving you, the relationships that aren't serving you. As you release that energy, like this is, like we said, bringing all of this in. So I feel that 1/1 portal also being a powerful time for you to start taking those leaps of faith. And for some of you, that leap of faith is releasing someone from your life. So if you already know who these people are in your life, when I'm giving, like as I'm talking through this reading, you already know. If you can get a jump start on that and start pruning those hedges, so to speak, right now, that's going to open you up to step more into the blessings and like complete some of these lessons more quickly. Right, so you can drag your feet on it, but if you already know, then if you take that action now, it's only going to serve you moving forward here, and it's only going to help shift out of that energy more quickly. All right, we have the sacred masculine and the valley of the soul. So this is once again the activation of the masculine energy here. But this is also learning how to tap into your vulnerability. Because this card is also about vulnerability. It's about not having to fight. And I feel for some of my Libras too, this is a belief system and a karmic cycle that you're healing and clearing right now, around feeling like you always have to fight everybody and everything. You have to fight for everything that you get. Like life is a struggle and a fight basically, and you have to be strong, and vulnerability is a weakness. And obviously if you have a lot of really critical people in your life, this is going to really feel like that, right? And for some of you, some of my Libras, like if you've already moved out of that energy, like this is maybe a rehash of what you've gone through. But I feel like for a lot of my Libras, this is the initiation this year, or there's a deeper level of this initiation around creating the sacred space by paying attention to who and what is allowed within your energy that makes you allows you the comfortability to be vulnerable. Because if we don't feel safe around people, we're not going to feel safe being vulnerable, right? Because vulnerability is a strength, but we don't want to be vulnerable with people that are going to take advantage of that energy, right? So we have to have discernment. We have to learn how and when to apply this beautiful vulnerability. So it's like a strengthening of your divine masculine. And remember, whether you identify as feminine or masculine, we have both of these essences inside of ourselves. And another part of the Libra journey is the journey of balancing the masculine and feminine within us. So it's like working with that masculine energy, but also allowing the feminine to soften that energy where and when it's necessary. And I think this also speaks to you having an experience, and this will be particularly for my divine feminines, those that resonate with that energy, that essence within them, of meeting people who exemplify that masculine energy, but more in a more divine way as opposed to a more toxic or unbalanced way. And this is going to allow you to tap into your own more balanced version of your own divine masculine as well. And then the Valley of the Soul, card 17. This is unearthing your soul gifts and abilities, as well as clearing out those karmic ties, really becoming clear about the types of connections that you have with people, the ones that are there for a reason and a season versus the ones that are meant to stay. So a lot of this relationship healing for you, but there's also this this energy of exploring, like we said, tapping into your divine blueprint more deeply. New gifts and abilities coming through. So what is this? I want to dig into this a little bit. Okay. So I was getting ready to start pulling cards to see, like, particularly what soul gifts might be opening up for you. And we had Crystal Visions, card 21, your clairvoyance is opening up. So the clairvoyance, and I'm feeling clairaudience for some people as well. So clairvoyance is when you see, when your psychic gifts are in the realm of visions. So for some of you, this could be in your dream time, having prophetic dreams. It could be just seeing into the future, getting glimpses of future timelines. If any of you have been considering doing something like this, reading tarot or learning how to work with the Akashic records, that would be really powerful for you with all of this karmic energy that you're clearing up this year. I've been sharing on here quite a bit. I've been reading a book. It's called A Radical Approach to the Akashic Records. And it teaches you how to access the Akashic records in the quantum field and work with unwinding your karma in the quantum field. It's really powerful. So some of you might want to take a look at that book. It's like Melissa Fike, I think, is the author, but A Radical Approach to the Akashic Records. So working with that, really working with these soul gifts and abilities. Some of you guys are going to be starting to read tarot or different things like that. And in the new year, I am going to have a learning to read tarot class that I'm going to be opening up. I know I've been talking about that for a little while. We're going to do that in the new year. So that might be something that you want to take. You might want to just start self-learning, self-teaching. I feel like you have a real ability for this. Some of you are going to be working with crystals as well. If you've been called to work with crystals, know that that is a great confirmation. There's also something with the rose here, right? I chose the Divine Codes Oracle. So this is divine codes coming through. These are powerful healing codes and upgrades that you're receiving. It's also connecting with that divine feminine energy as well. And so the order of the rose, this has to do with Mary Magdalene. It has to do with Mother Mary. There's a powerful energy there. Divine Mother is very much represented, and some say creation itself represented by the rose. So maybe working with the energy of the rose. Then we have revelations here. Yeah, so getting a deeper level of clarity, authenticity, really beginning to own not only your soul gifts and abilities, but to own your own energy, to own your own creations, and to really become more confident with expressing those and tapping into these parts of yourself that may not have been explored before. I feel for somebody, some of the criticism from others that you might be receiving is like maybe you have family members or people in your immediate reality who have like that Christian programming, you know, where they think that like tarot cards are the devil and stuff like that. And so if you're beginning to experiment with reading tarot or doing different things, they may judge that, and like you may have to work around that. So one of the things that I recommend to people, especially like if you're starting a YouTube channel or something like that, if some of you guys are thinking about doing that, don't tell your friends and family. If you have family and friends that won't be supportive, don't even bother telling them. Right? Just start posting. A mistake that people make is they want to get everybody they know involved because they want to try to get views. They want to try to get subscribers. They don't care anyway, so it's not going to help your channel. And it might actually hurt you because then you're going to be self-conscious. You're going to be wondering like, oh, if I say this, is, you know, my grandmother going to get offended? Or you know what I mean? Like, so just leave them out of it completely. Some of you guys, you may want to work in silence. Whatever it is that you're being guided to create, maybe don't share it with anybody. You can share it on here, share it with this tribe, maybe people that understand, but you may not want to share it with the people in your reality. If they're not going to be supportive, they're only going to be putting more negative energy out into that sort of the energetics of that manifestation. So leave them out of it completely, possibly. It's like that old saying, what is it? Like real G's move in silence. It's like you may need to do that with some of the stuff that you're doing, especially if having the criticism of people you know is going to kind of like dampen your sales or make you less excited or make it less fun for you, because that immediately begins bringing down the energy, weighing down the energy of it. Then we have Song of the Sea coming out with Divine Channel. Aligned guidance and light naturally flows through you. Yeah, you guys are on a major journey. Your blessing, one of your major blessings this year is becoming more spiritually and psychically connected. And for those of you where the health issues were a thing, this isn't, obviously not everything is going to be for everyone, all right? So don't freak out if I said that. For whoever this is for, you're going to dig into more, just like the depression piece, right, at the beginning. Anybody who does resonate with that energy, it's not going to be for everybody, but for those who do, this is going to bring you deeper into your spiritual journey because you're going to be looking for alternative methods of healing. And this is these are the stepping stones that are going to lead you to what it is that you're meant to share, what it is that you're meant to do. Because I know most of my Libras finding this video, you feel a calling. There's something in your soul that wants to be expressed. You know that you're here to help people. Some of you just may not know how yet. And for those of you who think that you do, you're going to be getting even more tools, and your gifts are going to be activating to keep up with this process of what it is that you're wanting to offer the world. So channeling energy, like some of you guys, you're going to be learning Reiki. You're going to be learning these different things. I teach Reiki as well. Just for those of you who really resonate with my energy, reach out to me, ask me some stuff about that. Some of you really exploring your roots, your ancestry. If you have Native American ancestry or any type of Native ancestry, it doesn't matter what country you live in, you might be more called to explore that, or to explore the ceremonial energies of any of these Native cultures, whether this is like in Peru, whether this is in Colombia or South America, whether this is in America, like the American Indians, whatever it is, you may be feeling more called to work ceremonially. Some of you like plant medicine and things like that. There's all different types of ceremonies, though, tribal ceremonies, not all of them utilize plant medicine, all right? So just go with what you're being called. But for some of you, you are really strongly being called there, and there is something to be found within that. And this is, did I mention the throat at the beginning of this reading with the keywords? I almost think that I did. So here's that throat energy coming through, the throat chakra. Some of you sing. If you sing or you are musically inclined, and Libra is the sign of the artisan, all right? Like if you've been feeling like you want to learn how to play an instrument, if you've been, maybe I feel like some of you already do, and you're almost like self-taught and you've hidden that skill because you haven't felt like you're good enough, or you felt like you had to get to a certain level with it before you let people hear you. I'm feeling like some of you are going to be breaking out of that. Like maybe you'll start performing at coffee shops or different things like that. Maybe you'll start putting your music on on a social media platform like YouTube or TikTok, if it still exists. Like that seems to be questionable right now where that's going, Instagram, something like that. Just sharing it. Like you're being guided to do that. You're being guided, whether this is poetry, whether this is music that you're creating or composing, whatever it is, to really like delve into your creativity, and spirit is going to guide you. And through your creativity, you're going to develop an even deeper connection with spirit. Yeah. Mystic messenger. So this is just a confirmation right here that some of you have something really powerful that you're meant to share. You're going to be getting visions. You're going to be getting downloads that you are being guided to share with the collective. Some of you are going to share this through your music. Some of you are actually going to activate people through your music, whether it's through the tones in your voice when you sing, whether it's through the chords and the way you put those together harmonically. You're going to be, I'm seeing like a harp player or something for somebody, or somebody who's tuning their instrument to a different frequency than what typically is used. Right? Because the agreed upon frequencies that music is played at are actually not healing, right? Like it's all been created and distorted in order to offset our nervous system as opposed to working with it. So you may be tuning your instrument to different frequencies, playing around with that. Like I said, I saw the harp for somebody. It could be singing bowls. It could also be guitar, piano. There's lots of different instruments or energies. And not all of you are going to be tuning it to a different frequency. That's just for somebody here. If you've been thinking about experimenting with this, spirit is saying, yes, absolutely do that. But regardless, it's not just the harmonies of the sounds of the notes themselves. It's the intention that you bring through with that music that's going to activate people. So that's going to be really powerful for some of you. For some of you, it's just like the words that you speak and the messages that you get, however you're channeling that, spirit saying, now is the time to deliver that. Some of you, it's like I see somebody who's been writing in a notebook, you've been journaling. Maybe it's like a voice journal, but it feels like physical writing for somebody. You've been collecting, you've been getting these downloads for a long time. This isn't new, but you haven't had the courage or the confidence to share them with anyone. And Spirit's saying like, now is the time. It's time to start sharing them because the collective needs to hear the wisdom that you've put together. All right, we have revelations here. Yeah, all that doubt and confusion, that self-doubt, that is probably one of the biggest blessings, is just all that confusion and self-doubt being transmuted, alchemized into clarity. And some of you, as I was shuffling, I saw clear, are going to be working with children as well, helping children tap into their own creativity, or helping with the children in some way, whether it's protecting, saving the children, something with the children, maybe your own children, inspiring them, or them inspiring you to become more playful, to create more, your own inner child. But there's that energy with the children that's coming through here very strongly. Yeah. Some of you guys have Pleiadian ancestry as well, so you may be connecting more with your star origins, and they may be coming through to assist you. Clear? So that's a blessing for somebody. I'm feeling particularly somebody who resonates with the energy of being a channel. I feel like somebody's going to start channeling the Pleiadians or messages from the Pleiadians as well, or meeting your Pleiadian guide and having them begin to channel messages that are meant to be shared through you, as well as provide you your own guidance. All right, so now we're going to look at what you don't see coming in 2025, and we're going to use the Intuit Oracle for this. Clear. All right, so what does Libra not see coming? Wow, this is a lot of cards here. This deck they're a little challenging to shuffle here. Oh, this is a big old mess. These cards really want to rearrange themselves for you, Libra. All right. So there's a powerful rearranging in general, I'm feeling, coming through for you. A rearranging of your reality. A rearranging of your priorities, your goals. Some of you, it's like, it's just going to feel like you really want to just shift everything in your reality, or everything is going to be shifting very rapidly. Like, as you continue to do this work and this healing, it's like some of that stuff, if any of that all that challenging stuff, like some of that's just going to begin to sort itself right out of your reality. Wow, this is crazy, you guys. I don't normally, you can't really see what's going on this table right now, but these cards are just going everywhere. So I feel like there is a huge timeline recalibration happening for you. And that's what you don't see coming here. Sudden, unexpected, I saw with the scythe. Tell me more about this for Libra. All right. So we have the fox here with the winter. Self-reflection, completion. All right, let me feel into this. The fox represents deceit, cunning. Also redheads, possibly. So take that for who it's going to resonate for. And the winter is endings. With the ball and chain here. Interesting. Somebody, if you're married, you could be getting a divorce this year, honestly, is what I'm feeling here. But remember, there's a lot of beautiful love and these resonant soul connections coming in. So this may be, it may be necessary for you to end something, right, in order to begin what's actually meant for you. And so Spirit's saying really go within and contemplate. This is any type of restriction or addiction or emotional baggage. It doesn't have to be like a marriage that's ending. It could just be you letting go of the things that are weighing you down. Recognizing the fox can also represent a trap. So it's like recognizing where these traps exist. I'm actually seeing in my mind like physical traps, like bear traps. Yeah. All right. Tell me more about this. It's detaching from these self-interests, from these energies. Remember we had talked about those. Really begin recognizing when something's off, when something's not right. Then we have the clover. Luck, good, unexpected rendezvous, good fortune. All right, so what you don't see coming might be some type of betrayal, it feels like, or somebody trying to pull one over on you. But you're being called to allow this. Like, I feel like you're going to catch them in the act, or you're going to catch on to this. And then you're going to go within, you're going to reflect on this, and ultimately you're going to decide that you're not consenting to this type of energy in your life anymore. It's almost like, I feel like for some of you guys, you're in the beginning of 2025, you're going to go through that process of really recognizing who in your life is supportive, who is not, who's got to go, who is only like somebody that you can have fun with, or somebody that you can connect with on this level, but isn't somebody that you want to share your dreams and aspirations with, or all that stuff that we covered. You're going to weed a lot of those people out, but there's somebody who's still sneaking under the radar here, or somebody that you're just not ready to let go of, especially if this is a marriage. I feel like you may still try to stick around and make it work. Tell me what the energy is if we stick around and make it work in this marriage. We had the Man card come out. We have the geese here and the elephant. All right, so Spirit's saying it's going to be different for different people with whether the solution is to leave this marriage or whether it's to work on it. But you're going to know if you get really clear with yourself. Get really clear about where it is that you're wanting to go. Is your energy and this person's energy aligned? Are they wanting to go in the same direction? Because if they're not, they're just going to hold you back. All right? And I feel like you might actually be moving too, or thinking about moving here, relocating. But if you get really clear about what you want, and you get really clear and you say, Spirit, show me that and give me the best and highest resolution to this energy for all involved, then you're going to know what to do here. And you're going to know too, like if this person is willing to work on this and they're willing to grow and change, then maybe you grow and change, like you grow and change together. But if they're not, then that's an indication, right? That it's time to complete things. It's time to let things go. For some of you guys, this is like old habits creeping back into. This has nothing to do with a marriage or anything like that. This has to do with your old habits, your old addictions, or your old patterns starting to creep back in again. And you being unaware, this catching you off guard. And so Spirit's saying, stay aware of that, stay on top of that, because you don't want to move backwards. Sometimes we have to go through a brief cycle of moving backwards to launch ourselves forward. But if we allow ourselves to get too caught up in the momentum of that energy, it can drag us back too far. So don't let that happen. If you see that happening, put an end to that energy. But we have, I feel like when you get really clear about your intentions and what it is that you want, that's when the obstacles begin removing from your path. This elephant reminds me of Ganesha here. You might want to call on Lord Ganesha to remove the obstacles within your path. And then I feel like for some of you, what you don't see coming this year as well is somebody coming into your life. This could be a brief interaction. It kind of feels like that. Like a brief interaction with somebody. It's literally, this card says a fling, but something that makes you feel really good and really opens up your energy. So like a really fun little fling or rendezvous or some type of good fortune coming in. So this could be like a win, like a lottery ticket, or some little blessing like that coming in, right? As well. Something that didn't look like it was going to pan out, that all of a sudden comes through with a positive energy. It's like circumstances aligning for you in a certain situation. And the fish is all about money, large amounts of money. All right. And the full moon is about harvest. The time has come. All right. So we talked about how this year for a lot of my Libras is going to be mostly about laying that foundation and doing the grunt work. But ultimately that's going to pay off, or something's going to pay off here. And you guys, I feel like there's like an influx of money that comes seemingly out of nowhere, but it's not coming out of nowhere. It's because your frequency is shifting and it's allowing for this to come in. It's like there are rewards for the hard work that you're putting in, but you have to put in the dedication in order to receive this. But it feels like it's going to come through out of nowhere. So I love that as like a closing energy for this reading. If you made an investment too, I feel like some of you are going to be guided to invest in something. And Spirit's saying that, like, if you feel in your gut, even if it makes you nervous, obviously don't bet the whole house on something, right? But if you're feeling guided to invest in something and just put a little money away towards something, I think that that is going to come through and it's going to provide something positive for you. So you might put a little investment into something earlier in the year and not really think about it again. And then all of a sudden at the end of the year, you realize that it's accrued these big dividends, and all of a sudden that investment has multiplied and you have a lot of money, or you have a lot of something, right? It definitely feels like money for somebody, or abundance for somebody. So take that as it resonates. And then it's like actually, I'm not going to specify what that might be. Just pay attention. If that energy is resonating for you, then ask Spirit, like, show me, where is this energy that I'm meant to invest in? Give me a pointer, give me an epiphany, a light bulb. Let me, give me some sign when this energy comes into my awareness. I think for some of you, you already know because it's something you've thought of investing in, but you just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. Like it could be crypto or something like that. Could be anything really, but just, pay attention to that, because I feel like that could end up being really beneficial for you. Then we had the Twin Flames card when I was shuffling the deck. So this is really, it's saying that there is going to be a powerful balancing of the masculine and feminine. And it really feels like for somebody, like that divine union is coming in. And even if you're saying right now, like, I don't know how, I don't see that happening for me, like, it's just like, I'm telling you, for some of you, that is definitely something that's going to be, that you're going to be experiencing. Yeah, we have the third person here too. So with that energy of what you don't see coming, one of the things that I was actually feeling was that somebody might, if you are in a committed partnership, you might find out that they're cheating or something like that. You could actually, honestly, maybe be the one that does that too. If somebody comes into your reality and stirs some feelings you haven't had in a long time. I don't know which way it's going to go, but that might happen for somebody, and that might be the catalyst that forces this make it or break it moment where you realize, and you really have to decide, like, is this in alignment for us still, or is it time to just kind of like release each other, let each other go, to open up to what's meant to happen next? And then with the letter was on the bottom of the deck. So this is, that's really emphasizing that energy I saw of somebody writing the things that they were channeling. This is also maybe receiving a letter or communication from somebody unexpectedly. Yeah, unexpected communications coming through. So like a love letter for somebody maybe, or I'm not sure what this is going to be, but Spirit's also saying, write out your manifestations, write out what you're desiring. One of the things that I'm playing around with right now is taking time to write about my future life. Write about myself in the timeline that I'm wanting to align onto, as though it's already happening. Like I'm just writing about my day or things that are going on. Sometimes I actually, like today when I was in the shower, I pretended there was like a speaker in my shower where I could do phone calls while I was in the shower. I don't know why, that's just what came through. And I talked like I was talking to my assistant, and we were planning the different retreats that I was going to be hosting and the vacation that I was getting ready to go on and all of these different things. We were talking about how like my personal chef was going out on maternity leave, and we needed to find another chef because that's one of my dreams. I hate cooking. So play around with things like that, different ways that you can manifest and create. And I feel that writing being really powerful as well. Like you might be called to write somebody a letter, or somebody's going to be receiving a letter. But it's also about just like if somebody's been thinking about writing a book, remember we talked about the creative energies coming through, definitely like do that. Like the written word and writing things down, writing down the things you're manifesting, writing down the things you're dreaming about, just working with that energy of writing is going to be really powerful for somebody. Yeah. And we have the marriage, the ring on the bottom of the deck here. So definitely some people might be getting divorced, but somebody might be getting married by the end of the year too. So maybe it could even be the same person, right? Which would be wild and unexpected. But you know what? This was what you don't see coming. So there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of promise here. There's going to be some intense times and some intense moments, but just know that, like we said, this is the foundation. So we talked about, when I was talking about building the foundation in the beginning of the reading, I was thinking more along the lines of like building your business or building the blocks for something concrete, right? Material. But it could also be like the foundation of your own sense of security and stability, your own sense of confidence. It could be like a spiritual or an emotional foundation that you're building as you're moving through. And I feel like that's really going to come through in some powerful ways for you as we continue with this year. Yeah, it's so funny. I'm hearing like a whirlwind marriage for somebody too. Like you meet somebody and you guys just immediately hit it off, and before you know it, like you're getting married. So that's going to be for somebody on here. And that feels like for somebody who's single right now. It's like all of a sudden that love's, and it's all going to come in at once. And that love's going to come in. And maybe the good fortune and money too is it might be somebody who's got some money. Isn't that what we all kind of want on some level, right? Like to have a truly loving commitment and relationship with somebody who also happens to be abundant, you know. Honestly, it's never a bad thing, right? So All right, I love you, Libra. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Share this with somebody else if you know another Libra that would resonate with or enjoy this reading. And if you're new, go ahead and hit subscribe. Welcome to the tribe. Like I said, I offer a whole bunch of assistance, different services. So if you're looking for some assistance working through some of these energies, go ahead and hit me up for that. My information is in the description box below. Happy 2025.